On May 25th, the Cathedral Church of the Holy Trinity begins its 200th anniversary celebration of dedication. So join us on the 25th of each month for glimpses of our past as we imagine and dream our way into the future. Take a glimpse with us as we celebrate. Look out on all of our social media platforms for glimpses of Holy Trinity Cathedral.
Greetings, Brian Jemmott here with my Trinity Cathedral glimpses for the 200th anniversary of consecration. My proverbial teeth for ministry were cut at Trinity Cathedral. I arrived in July of 1993 along with my wife Michelle and our first son, Sekani, and we took up residence at the downstairs apartment of the curate's flats in the Cathedral Close. I received my Master of Divinity from Seabury Western Theological Seminary in May of 1993, and 2 months later I was at Trinity Cathedral. I came to the cathedral as a newly minted deacon, as Bishop Abdullah had ordained me deacon in Chicago 1 week prior to graduation in May of 1993. And my duties at the cathedral initially as a deacon were to sing or chant the gospel on Sundays and to set the table for the celebration of the Eucharist for the dean and any other priest who may have been celebrating the Eucharist, whether it was on Sunday or on a weekday celebration of the Eucharist. I grew fond of the daily office of morning and evening prayer in community, especially on Sundays when we had evensong, for which I chanted on a number of occasions. We also had evensong just prior to choir rehearsal on a Thursday evening, and so I enjoyed doing that as well during the 2.5 years I was at Holy Trinity. The chaplaincies at Trinity College, Richmond Street Boys, also known as Christus Rex, Trinity Junior School, those were all very valuable experiences in my young years as a deacon and priest at the cathedral. I enjoyed them tremendously. My liturgical knowledge was developed at the cathedral, both through the teachings of Bishop Duglin, who was a very good liturgist, and of course through the efforts of Rupert Regis, who was a phenomenal acolyte and leader, and I learned quite a lot from Rupert in terms of liturgy in the church. As a matter of fact, my liturgical experience has made me kind of like a liturgical snob as a result of having been at the cathedral. I miss deeply the celebrations of Christmas Eve, Midnight Mass, and the Easter Vigil. Both of those services were phenomenal, and I've never had an experience at either of them in terms of now doing Midnight Mass or the Easter Vigil. Nothing matches what I've experienced at Holy Trinity. Trinity Cathedral was also the first place I was able to witness a free medical clinic, a ministry, a profound ministry that had occurred there, I think, under the direction of Dr. Alan Patrick and other like-minded lay members of the cathedral. They saw the need to do that kind of ministry. It was the first time I had seen something like that happening in Christian ministry in a parish. The very location of the cathedral lent itself to authentic urban ministry among so many facets of public life. Being surrounded by downtown merchants, government, and other private enterprise, not to mention the economically disadvantaged inhabitants, citizens of Port of Spain and its environs. I remember traversing the streets of Port of Spain by foot with Bishop Duglin dressed in cassock as we took the sacrament to several parishioners who lived within walking distance of the cathedral. I also had the privilege of visiting the homes of parishioners living in the areas of Morvan, Laventille, Old St. Joseph Road, the Piccadilly Street area, Gonzales, Belmont, Upper Charlotte Street, and the various parish boundaries east of downtown Port of Spain. They will forever remain ingrained in my own mind in terms of my ministry, having been informed by those experiences of the cathedral. I also truly enjoyed ministry and working with the vast number of young persons, whether they were from the youth group, the Servers Guild, or in my working with them and preparing them for confirmation, and by extension working with their parents when they were little ones to be baptized, so that having the godparents and parents as part of that whole experience was also tremendous. When I served there, the spirituality of Trinity Cathedral also was outstanding. I remember in around 1995, under the leadership of Dean Nolly Clark, we introduced an indigenized act of worship with 2 costumes of the legendary Peter Minshall, that of Sagaboy and Tantan, in a service of evensong one Sunday. The event, of course, caused quite a stir, a bit of an uproar in Trinidad at the time, especially among members of the cathedral. Let me end my glimpses with the memory of attending a Saturday retreat with the Marian Helpers on Eastern Main Road in Laventille in my capacity as the chaplain for that event. Just before we ended the retreat that Saturday afternoon, I was called to the front of the room and asked to have a seat, not knowing exactly what was going to take place next. That act was followed by the Marian helpers present, surrounding and laying hands on me and praying for my ministry among them and all of God's people at Trinity Cathedral and in the Diocese of Trinidad and Tobago. That was an awesome and moving experience, and I want to take this opportunity now to thank Phaedra Pear and her mother of blessed memory, Joan Pear, for that event and for that act. And of course, all the other Marian helpers whose names I now cannot remember. Thank you, Trinity Cathedral, for those wonderful memories, for introducing me to the heart of Christian ministry in an urban setting. You do a wonderful job of that. May God continue to bless you in all of the ministries you pursue and perform in that part of God's vineyard for Jesus Christ. Happy 200th anniversary of consecration. Take good care. God bless and be well. Thank you kindly.